Hey everyone, and welcome to the PopRewind.com podcast. I'm Lee, and
I'm Linz.
And we're your host of the PopRewind.com podcast, brought to you by none other than
General Mills.
PopRewind.com.
PopRewind.com. But also,
did that sponsorship deal go through?
It did.
Yes. So this time we're going to jump right into it. We're going to be talking about drink mix nostalgia.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we take you on these nostalgic trips, and here we are discussing drink mixes. Let's start off. Hey, what were your favorite flavors of Kool-Aid?
Hands down, berry blue. I was obsessed with berry blue.
Was that the ice flavor?
It was like a blueberry lemonade flavor, so the generic blue flavor.
Yeah.
Which was discontinued for a bit because I guess kids were drinking Windex thinking it was Kool-Aid in a spray bottle. I don't know, but it was tasty. You know,
I had that happen to me a few times, except mine was usually things that looked like orange pineapple.
Aww.
That was my favorite flavor. They don't make that anymore.
At all?
No. Some of the knockoffs make it, and I'll buy the knockoff kind.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, at least you can kind of still get it.
Yeah, you know, it's there. If I want it, I can make it happen. I was also a big fan of the Great Blue Dini.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you might be in luck then.
I know. You've heard about this.
I have heard. We don't have it in Canada, sadly, but I have heard 5 of our favorite flavors have returned.
Yeah, I believe Charkleberry Fin.
Mm-hmm. That was another favorite of mine. I really enjoyed Charkleberry Fin.
Purple Source Rex, mighty delicious.
The only grape I can handle.
Yeah, and it's a sugar overload, too.
That's probably why.
Yeah, super sugary. Crocodile Red did come back.
Also delicious.
Yeah. And the Pink Flamingo, was that one back?
Yeah, I think that one's pretty underrated.
Yeah, that seems like one of those underrated flavors. I almost feel like maybe it's the same as another flavor, and that's what the issue is.
I think it was a cherry watermelon flavor, so maybe they thought it was too close and pink to, I guess, Charkleberry. I don't know.
And then, of course, Great Blue Dini came back, which...
Of course.
I gotta tell you, I got some of this Great Blue Dini, and it tasted exactly like my memories from, like, 3rd grade drinking this stuff.
Oh, that's so great that they left it. Like, they had the same recipe. Were the other ones similar to the originals?
The only other one I really remembered was Purple Source Rex, and that tasted exactly the same as well. So I would assume the others did. I still didn't like Charkleberry Fin, so maybe, that hasn't changed. But Great Blue Dini was my favorite. I loved the flavor. I loved the mascot. I loved even, like, the burst version of it. Great Blue Dini. That's where it was at.
Yeah, and about the mascots, I like how they brought them all back that had mascots, except for Incrediberry.
Yeah, what happened there? Like,
I don't know. I remember really enjoying Incrediberry as well. I guess I drank a lot of Kool-Aid as a kid, geez. But I think he was kind of a superhero-shaped blob of Kool-Aid.
Okay.
And I don't know, they should have brought him back too. Maybe they're waiting for the big Incrediberry unveiling, but I don't know.
Nah, you know what I'm picturing is there's like this like high school Kool-Aid class reunion, and all the flavors show up except Incrediberry, and it's like, there's like a little memorial picture of him sitting up on the stage or something.
Oh, I thought maybe he got too fat for the reunion and just like stayed home.
No, because you know what happens if you can't fit through the door at a Kool-Aid party. Oh, yeah! You just burst right through the door. That's not really a problem.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Incrediberry.
Apparently. There were some other flavors that I've always wanted to try, but I've only read about. There was a root beer flavor at one point.
That would be interesting, because when I think of root beer, I think carbonation.
Yeah, so to have it without carbonation and this drink you make at home. Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
There was supposedly a chocolate flavor.
That would be strange.
Yeah. What's the strangest Kool-Aid flavor you've had?
That I've had? I don't know if I've gotten into any kind of weird ones.
I've had some of the water flavors. I'll find them at the dollar store or Big Lots or something. So there's, I think it's Tamarindo. I've had that.
What are the... Because when I see the name water flavors, I assume that it's just flavored like water, which doesn't seem necessary.
They almost have more of like a tea vibe. I don't know. I think I've had Jamaica. Some of those ones.
What flavor is that?
I don't even remember. It's been years. I mean, it's just one of those like one-off things you find at a discount store and try it and forget about it.
Yeah.
There were a couple starfruit flavors, and I can't imagine those are very good because starfruit is not one of my favorite foods. I don't know, I guess they started running out of different fruits, and there you go. Yeah. You ever have KOOL-AID?
No, see, I don't know if Canada got all these really neat things.
What are your standard flavors there now?
Now, actually, funny story, I was trying to find lemon lime Kool-Aid, and I could not find it at the grocery store. We have grape, cherry, tropical punch, and orange. And if you want anything outside of those flavors, you're looking at the Kool-Aid Jammers Capri Suns, or like the little Mio-type Kool-Aid flavorings.
Well, that's a bit of a bummer.
It is. So not only do we not get Charkleberry Finn, we don't even have lemon lime or black cherry.
I'm going to say that serves you right, though, because I remember you had orange pineapple for years after it was no longer available in the States. So, you know what? You got to enjoy that. Let us enjoy the Great Bludini.
You know, I'm thinking of going into some older, out-of-the-way corner stores and seeing if they still have not only orange pineapple, but
the Great Bludini from 20 years ago?
Yeah. I do have a stash of old Kool-Aid, so I might have to bust that out. I don't know if I want to drink it.
You mentioned that about old Kool-Aid. One time I went to this corner store, and this was maybe only like 3 years ago, and I went, oh my gosh, they brought back the old Kool-Aid package design. I mean, it looked just like what I remembered as a kid. It was a lemon lime flavor. And I flipped it over, and the copyright, or the expiration date was like 1995.
Oh.
I'm like, maybe not. And I noticed like the dust on my hand, and I put it back on the shelf and walked away. I guarantee you that pack of Kool-Aid's still there.
See, that's the great thing about those types of stores. There's no one to really go through everything and get rid of old Kool-Aid and old candy and all that. So, every once in a while, it's okay to go in and peruse the aisles.
If you want to find some old Bonkers or a PB Max.
Maybe just don't eat them.
Yeah. Do you ever have Flavor Aid?
I remember Flavor Aid. I don't think I had any good flavor. It was good, but it was cherry, orange, that sort of thing. Nothing outlandish.
I always liked Flavor Aid. I like the mascot. This happy straw. I was just kind of like, use me to drink these fun flavors.
Better than an invasive Kool-Aid man busting into your house.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, we tried to find an answer for the whole busting through the wall thing, and we couldn't find one.
No.
Why does Kool-Aid man just burst into your house?
It's not right.
No, it really isn't.
Kool-Aid's not hard to make.
No, it really isn't.
You can make your own.
Yeah. You could make it when you were 6. It was like your first responsibility in life. Your parents were like, you know what? Make the Kool-Aid yourself.
Oh, extra sugar.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that? Just dump in all the sugar?
Oh, yeah. And it's funny, as an adult, I like very little sugar in my Kool-Aid. I want more of the flavor and less of the sugar, which threw me off with Purplesaurus Rex because I made it kind of light and it was still really overpowering flavor.
7-year-old Lee is just shaking his head at you right now.
He's so disappointed in me. He's like, I thought you were going to be drinking Pepsi Perfect in the future. Psh.
I know. Thought you were going to be eating candy for breakfast every day.
Oh, man. Well, I did today, but... So, yeah. There's Kool-Aid Burst, which are the ones that come in the bottles. So they're like Squeeze It. And Jammers are kind of like Capri Sun.
Yeah, I kind of feel insulted a little by Kool-Aid, just kind of taking all these other juice box ideas from people. I mean, Squeeze It hasn't been around for a while, but that's kind of rude.
Well, they've got the brand marketing. Squeeze It were just wacky bottles that got squeezed. Kool-Aid Man jumped into your house.
Yeah.
Not to mention everything else that went along with Kool-Aid, like the Wacky Warehouse. Points. Let's talk about Kool-Aid points for a second here.
Oh, man. I assume you collected the hell out of those, right?
Oh, man, did I ever. People today, either you were there or you remember it or you weren't. And basically on the back of Kool-Aid, there were these little squares that said 1 point. And if you bought, like, the 5-pack, there'd be an extra one that said, like, 3 points on it. And you'd collect these points. And you wouldn't really have anything in mind. It was almost like getting the tickets at an arcade and saving up for a spider ring, or do you want to get something really good, like last year's iPad? And so I collected these things. You'd go to the store, and there'd be these tear sheets in the Kool-Aid aisle, back when there was a Kool-Aid aisle.
There used to be, like, a nice display at the end of an aisle of all Kool-Aid, just its own rack, and now it's some dusty little shelf somewhere.
Kool-Aid was quite a force in the industry, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you could buy all kinds of things with your Kool-Aid points. Did you ever buy anything?
I didn't send away for anything, but there was a promotion, and I used to be a giant fan of the Jetsons, like an embarrassingly giant Jetsons fan.
I seem to remember you doing that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was bad. But when the movie came out, there was a promo where you took a certain number of Kool-Aid points. I don't even remember how much now, probably like 25. You would take that to the theater, and you would get a little Jetsons in their spaceship little PVC figure. Oh yeah, I got that.
Nice. So you never got like the you never sent away, so you didn't have like a Kool-Aid pitcher?
I did. I had a lot of the cups, and I don't know if maybe my mom had sent away for that, or if they were something that she found at a yard sale and picked up for me.
Okay.
But we did have a lot of the cups.
See, my parents were
I think every household did, eh?
Yeah, I think the cups were pretty common. My parents were really into the whole Kool-Aid points thing. Like, they were just like, man, you can get stuff for free from just buying it? Okay. So I had the pitcher set with the tall pitcher and the cups. I had this credit card size calculator with the Kool-Aid Man on it. That was actually
that's neat.
Pretty cool. Kool-Aid Man wallet, Kool-Aid Man fanny pack. The best water bottle I ever owned, which was amazing, and I used to drink Purplesaurus Rex out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Kool-Aid Man clock, watch, and I don't remember if this was from the points or it was like a freebie included with one of my orders, but you got this Purplesaurus Rex cardboard cutout that you could wrap around like an old SpaghettiOs can or something. And
okay.
It was, so you could turn your can into the place where your Kool-Aid points lived, and that's where mine lived until I moved out.
So do you have any of that stuff still? Because it sounds like you were all decked out in Kool-Aid gear.
I still have the fanny pack and the calculator somewhere. The water bottle.
Well, I'm glad you have your priorities and managed to save that fanny pack.
Yeah. Hey, they might come back in style for day. I don't know.
No, never.
Oh, wow. Do you ever color your hair with Kool-Aid?
That was kind of big in high school when you were a little too young to be dyeing your hair with permanent dye, but you wanted something fun. So I did. I dyed the front section of my hair with blue Kool-Aid.
Blue Dini?
And yeah, oh no, it was actually berry blue. I think it had come back, or I found an old packet somewhere. So I'm like, yeah, we're going to do this.
Okay.
So it was the front part of my hair. And the color actually showed up pretty well. The front part of my hair is a bit blonder, or was at the time. So it showed up pretty well. And I remember people thinking that I actually, for real, dyed my hair blue.
And you were like, no, lick it. It just tastes like berry blue.
This guy I had dated, like, it was high school, right? So it wasn't anything serious. We had gone out a couple times. He was very upset that I would dye my hair blue.
Wow.
Like, it's Kool-Aid, relax. When I wash my hair, it's coming out. And yeah, you smelled it. Well, it was right in my face, too. So I smelled berry blue Kool-Aid all afternoon.
That's hilarious.
But it wouldn't stay, right? So it was pretty much in your hair until you washed it.
Now, did you just smell it all day? Because I know, like, when you'd pour the powder into the pitcher, and if you catch a whiff of it, it's just like, whoosh, and then you
kind of like just waft it into your face and just enjoy it.
And you get a tissue later, and like, everything's coming out blue, and it's like, oh man.
Exactly. No, I would find myself playing with my hair, and then like, oh, well, that's lovely.
So you're one of those girls that like always put your hair in your mouth, and you're like, this is kind of tasting pretty good.
Just the one day. I only ever did it the once.
Oh. So it only lasted for a day?
Yeah.
See, I feel like
it came right out.
I think one of the girls in my neighborhood back then had dyed hers like pink flamingo or something. I feel like that stuck forever.
If she didn't, she might not have washed her hair. Like, not to be gross, but she might have skipped a couple hair washings. And I think if you had... I remember there was some kind of tip where if you mix it with vinegar, it would stain your hair better.
Maybe that was it. Yeah. I almost feel like maybe we loaned her the pack, too. I say loaned,
nice, yeah.
Like I was ever going to get it back, but... Yeah.
Did her hair look nice? Like a nice electric pink?
It was very swimingo-ish, is how I would describe it. I like saying swimingo more than I like saying charcoalberry or bludini. Swimingo.
It does sound pretty good.
Yeah. Do you remember like all the Kool-Aid commercials? Like from
How can you forget those things?
The early 90s ones. They were like Looney Tunes, but with Kool-Aid Man in them.
Oh, I know. Well, that was the animation at the time, too.
Yeah. They started like...
Where it was...
Yeah, just totally wacky.
Yeah.
They would put him in Hawaiian shirts and give him sunglasses and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm buying that there's an anthropomorphic picture of Kool-Aid who wants people to drink Kool-Aid even though he's filled with Kool-Aid. I know, okay, let's back up. Is Kool-Aid Man the pitcher, or is he the beverage? Like, what if the pitcher were empty? Would he still be there? Is it like Frosty the Snowman?
I think it's the full package. So both the pitcher and the Kool-Aid, because his mouth moves on the pitcher. That's part of the pitcher.
How does he never spill that Kool-Aid out of him? He's jumping through walls. How does the glass not shatter?
He has excellent balance, and I don't know about the glass not shattering. Bulletproof glass?
Maybe it's plastic. I don't know. I just feel like the world of the Kool-Aid Man needs to be explored a little more in the physics department.
It seems like they should have hired some engineers to figure this out back when they were first making these commercials.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I bought it when he was the Kool-Aid Man in the Atari game, and he just kind of jumps through the wall. You gotta collect the thirsties or whatever.
Did you have that game?
I didn't have it, but I did play it, and it was actually kind of fun, I gotta tell you. For an Atari game, it was pretty fun.
Well, I know it's also available for the Intellivision, and they had, well, with the overlays for the Intellivision controller, you had your Kool-Aid overlays as well.
Oh, I forgot about the overlays. Yes.
Because, it's a Kool-Aid game. It's going to be complicated. You need an extra, 12 buttons.
Yeah, you could really do more than one or two things with the Kool-Aid Man in a game. Jump through walls, say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it would just be beeps and boops. Boop, boop. So he'd burst through the wall.
Close enough.
Boop, 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 boop. That's how he would say.
It was a good marketing move, though.
It was. Kind of like the marketing move of those jingles in the commercials. What was the one you were singing earlier?
Oh, which one? Hey, oh, Kool-Aid.
Are you singing Goo Punch?
Oh, you may have misunderstood, but yes.
Oh, wow. No, there was another one, like Wacky Worlds, or...
Oh, I can't even remember what it was now. That's really helpful for this podcast.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad we did that research before we started talking. Well, speaking of research, we'll just move right on. We read on the Wikipedia that in 2013, and I'm reading this straight from the Wikipedia, Kraft decided to overhaul the Kool-Aid Man, reimagining him as a CGI character, trying to show that he's just an ordinary guy. That's
a little creepy. I can buy the Kool-Aid Man busting into my house and feeding my kids Kool-Aid, but if an ordinary guy's doing that, I'm having none of it.
I don't know I want to live next door to a Kool-Aid Man that's an ordinary guy. Like, we both happen to be out checking the mail. It's like, hey, Kool-Aid Man, how's it going? Yeah. No, you need to say, oh, yeah. Burst through the mailbox.
Just mowing the lawn, just doing regular guy things. I don't like it.
Kool-Aid Man washing his car, the hose is just, like, going to the top of him. Yeah.
You're not going to get a nice finish on your car after that.
You know, I got to tell you, now I'm starting to think about living next door to the Kool-Aid Man and all the, like, wacky bro adventures we could have.
Would you really have any, though?
I think I would hang out with the Kool-Aid Man. You wouldn't?
It seems like he would get into too much trouble, like busting down walls. I don't know if I'd want to be around and be a witness or be part of it.
I don't know. He's throwing some, kicking parties back there.
I guess if Sharkleberry and Rexosaur or Purplesaurus and Rockadell Red were all there.
And there'll be a picture of Incrediberry, but he will never show up.
Oh.
Yeah. That's so sad about Incrediberry.
One for me, one for my homie.
Yeah. And maybe he's just like that guy that's too cool to hang out with the rest of you. Psh, move on, guys. I'm like a doctor now.
Right. This was like so 1990. Ooh.
Yeah. Hangs out.
I don't know if I'd go to him. He's still weird.
Yeah, no. It's those goggles he had. I just can't shake the goggles. Yeah. All right, so let's kind of wrap things up here with your best impression of the Kool-Aid Man. Go.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I feel like I channel a little Randy Savage there.
Yeah, I suddenly want a Slim Jim.
They're not bad. I'm not going to judge.
All right, let me try. Oh, yeah. So, there's a reason that guy got paid to be the voice of Kool-Aid Man. I think he pulled it off a little better than we could.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Yeah. Though, you know what? If I were ever asked to be the voice of Kool-Aid Man, I'm not going to turn that down. Hint.
General Mills, or Kraft, if you're listening.
Yeah, you keep saying General Mills. I'm not sure what that's about.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know.
Do they still run Kool-Aid ads? I mean, you had mentioned that they'd reformulated them a bit, but do they still run any advertisements?
I don't know. The website, if you go to the Kool-Aid website, it's just him chilling at his computer being like...
looking at pictures of Kool-Aid.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess, you could say we look at pictures of people online... or whatever, people get tabloids with celebrities in them. Maybe it makes sense in the Kool-Aid world that he's looking at pictures of Kool-Aid.
We may never know.
Is there a Mrs. Kool-Aid? He's like the ultimate bachelor.
Yeah. No, the only people he hangs out with are little kids, so I don't know about this anymore. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. So, well, that officially wraps up our topic on all things Kool-Aid, and much in the classic form of our favorite TV shows from when we were children. Lindsay had recommended that we do a recommendation based on today's topic. So we'll start with you. What's your recommendation to the listeners?
Well, PopRewind says, I was having a hard time finding Kool-Aid, like I had mentioned a few times, and I found that Bulk Barn, a local bulk food store, has Kool-Aid powder, probably off-brand, but they just have bins of Kool-Aid powder. So if you can't find your favorite flavor, go to your bulk food barn, whatever you want to call it, and just go crazy there.
Crazy for Kool-Aid, right?
Yes, bootleg Kool-Aid.
Okay.
And now, do you have a recommendation for our lovely listeners?
I had trouble coming up with one, and I'm going to recommend something nobody will ever be able to track down.
That's really helpful.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I received this comic book from, the Florida State Orange Juice Association or whatever, and it was called The Adventures of Orange Man, and it was this orange that had a Hawaiian shirt and sunglasses and went on wacky adventures with kids, all related to orange juice.
Wow.
Yeah, it was clearly Kool-Aid inspired. Yeah.
I wonder if Kraft launched a lawsuit.
I don't know. It's pretty much impossible to find. However, I do have it, and maybe I'll share it with the world someday.
You might have to now that you've mentioned it.
Yeah, we'll see. So, anyway, thanks for listening to the podcast here, the PopRewind.com podcast, brought to you by...
General Mills.
PopRewind.
PopRewind.com.
Mills. PopRewind.com.
We can go with that.
And let us know on Twitter who you think did the better Kool-Aid impression. Let's just go one more time to refresh them. Go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, wait, no. Let us know who did the best Macho Man Randy Savage impression.
Yeah, that's really what we want to know.
Yes, follow us on Twitter at PopRewind Online.
And we do have a Facebook that I kind of know how to use.
I believe it's facebook.com/PopRewind. But if you go to poprewind.com, all our links are there.
Yeah, that just makes it easier on everyone. So, anyway.
It does.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye, everyone.
PopRewind.com